Thank you, gentlemen, for yielding back. The chair now recognizes Mr. Foster for 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I guess I'd like to start by apologizing on behalf of the U.S. Congress, and to express my admiration for your not getting lured into trying to talk about things where you don't have the training or the knowledge about. As you can see, the U.S. Congress is not constrained in that way for talking about things we know nothing about.
Think knowing where this thing started is important?
Reclaiming my time, I would like to actually.
This is a fundamental question. This is the Select Committee on
Mr.
Coronavirus. The origin of the virus is an important
reclaiming
question,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Jordan, I think you know that I'm not going to tolerate that.
Well,
no one has disrupted you.
No, but he commented about my questioning, and I'm asking a fundamental
I commented on my time, and I will continue to use my time.
About my questions.
Correct.
You can ask whatever questions you want. You don't have to comment about mine. And if you comment about mine, I want to raise the fundamental question. Why won't this committee look into how this thing started?
I'm going to answer your question, and you aren't going to ask a question again now. I'm going to ask you very politely to recognize and respect
Mr. Chairman,
the gentleman's time.
Obviously the Democrats don't care about finding out how this virus that disrupted so many lives, including Mr. Abernathy's family, They don't care about finding how this
My
thing
family
started.
has been.
I do, and the folks I represent
Your family has been impacted by this, and so has mine. So let's stay away from that.
So I think you would like to know. I think it makes sense for you to
and I've got enough
how this
sense
thing
to
started.
know that we are going to do this in regular order. And the order here today is to talk about nursing homes. We are not going to get into that.
You've yet to get into it in 2 years that we've had.
Mr. Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I too lost my favorite aunt and my favorite uncle in a nursing home in the situation. And I just want to say that the vast majority of people working in the nursing home industry were trying to do the right thing with imperfect information. You know, it was months before we knew that this was primarily aerosol and that all of the business of sterilizing your food and super washing your hands was largely irrelevant, and what was important is not to exhale in the presence of people who are vulnerable. Okay, and it took us a while to understand just how simple that was. It's also, I'm a little bit concerned that we're trying to focus too much on what happened in certain, there were problems all over the country. And I'd like to, at this point, ask unanimous consent to put into the record a list prepared by staff of other states that had very similar, very significant problems. You know, Georgia, you name it, large, Connecticut, Maryland, just all over the country.
Without objection.
And my aunt and uncle passed away in Pennsylvania, and I thought the staff there were doing the best they could under terrible circumstances. And the way patients passed away, you know, being unable to talk to